Hi everybody, welcome to G for G here on YouTube. Today we're taking a look at DC Comics Legends. More specifically, we are taking a look at the Captain Cold event, known as the Cold-Blooded Criminals. It says earn up to 500 fragments of this brand new villain. However, fuck no. This entire event has had the player base of this game in an absolute uproar. The reason being is that this event is apparently ridiculously hard, and as it has been said in several threads, from whale to free-to-play player alike, this is an absolutely bullshit event. First of all, thanks to the energy requirements, pretty much all you can do is go through this event and you don't really have much energy left for other things. I mean, here we are, we're not that many nodes into it, as you can see here, and this costs 20. As a repeat, it only will give me one node. And I think overall, for anybody to do a repeat, you're only getting 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, no, 6, 7, there's more than that. It's maybe about 10. So let's say you just you cleared up to the final one, and then you just speed force the rest. You're only getting 10. So people have begun to compare this event to other ones like The Flash, and more specifically, Poison Ivy. The developers got props for Poison Ivy because, as it was said, it was nearly a free legendary, so even free-to-play players got something. Now, I'm not a whale, but I'm not free-to-play either. I would consider myself somewhere in the middle. I spend when there's something that I really want to go for, and then I don't just drop money just to drop money. Now, in MAA, Marvel Avengers Alliance, I certainly did my fair share of that every month, often dropping the 50 required to get the bonus gold item, as it were. And I kind of didn't have too much of a problem with it. I mean, yeah, I pay way less for World of Warcraft during a month, but at the time, I spent a good amount of time with MAA almost kind of being my primary game because it was Warlords of Draenor at the time in World of Warcraft. We were not really raiding thanks to Blizzard's announcement that the last tier of raiding in that expansion was in fact going to be the last tier. A lot of people got disillusioned, a lot of real life things happened, so we didn't wind up doing things for about a year, and that's the time in which I was streaming every day, was between jobs and everything like that, so it was a really good time for me to focus on MAA, and prior to that, I had a job, was making great money, so, you know, I didn't mind dropping the money and getting the gold weapon, or the gold sale weapon or gadget. Was every time it a good decision to get that thing? No, there were some failures, and then there were ones that were good and then got nerfed, like the Heroes for Hire PDA and the Magic Summon Stick and everything, but, you know, comes with the territory. Here, even the whales are having problems with Captain Cold, the guy who looks like he made 3D glasses out of a piece of blue felt and some cardboard, just cut some eye holes in it, and he was like, look, I'm a 1950s 3D glasses wearing nerd, like Back to the Future. Well, maybe this one in Faster Than Death, maybe when this one will open up, it'll be good. And right now, this one is just kind of shit. I kind of want to show you an example of why it is so bad, and why a lot of the community is really outraged about this particular event. First of all, you're only getting one on the repeats. Second of all, this is kind of what you're limited to. You don't really have a healer, and Captain Cold, who is the very person you're attempting to gain, is one of the allowed heroes. You're probably going to have him, if anything, is going to be super low. But I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous. Look at the restriction on these characters. Supergirl, who hits like a fucking wet noodle that has been left in water way too long and is an even wetter noodle. Okay, Green Arrow. Granted, my Green Arrow is shit. My Flash is only slightly better shit. Green Arrow, I do understand, is a shortcoming on my part. I can admit that. My Green Arrow should be better because there is a lot of people who use Green Arrow well into their PvP careers. I have not been focusing on him. Flash was in place as one of my main characters for some time, but he kind of fell out and was replaced. And I had not been working on him. But Supergirl, apparently she's one of those people who's just crippled with the fact that she's not good until she's legendary. So right now, you know, I got about 4K to their, double their power, but it spikes up ridiculous where people are saying that with their 18K power, they can't even beat the last node. We also don't really have a healer, and we don't really have a tank. I mean, Supergirl is kind of supporty, but it's shit. So, Reverse Flash, I think that's Mirror Master. The other Green Arrow, and I gotta check who that is. Let's see who that is and find out who are the people that are really allowed in this. One of the comments is that, wow, could you have allowed us Zatanna or something like a healer? A lot of people have really felt the devastating pressure of not having a healer. Before we get there, I just wanted to say that due to the recent sale, I finally legendaried my broccoli. So, Metaphil is now a legendary for me. And one of the reasons why I did purchase enough packs to do that is because he's everywhere for me. He's a bit of a tank. He's a bit of an off healer. Broccoli is phenomenal. And I really wanted to add him to my legendary. So there's my Poison Ivy, which was, you know, pretty much from the Poison Ivy event. There is my Siren, again, from those two events. And then I just recently bought my way into Broccoli being a legendary. So 2 earned and 1 kind of purchased. And, you know, here's the rest. Zatanna's who I'm going for next. And Batman. These are the 2 that I'm focusing my heroics on over here. So, let's see who are these other ones that are allowed in the event. There's, you know, Captain Cold, brand new, but allowed. So, Mirror Master, yeah, so Mirror Master is one of the allowed heroes. Optic Gun, chance to gain invisible, so invisibility to allies, 2 agility speed downs on an enemy, purging buffs, mirror images, speed down. Chance to deal damage to all enemies at the end of a turn if speed down on every enemy. So, you know, I don't really hear people talking about Mirror Master that much, so I don't really know that a lot of people would have a built-up Mirror Master for this. The other Green Arrow, the Castaway one, doesn't look that much different than the stock one. So, again, no real tanks, just kind of damage, DPS, not the most amount of utility in the world. There's Reverse Flash. And finally, we have Hippolyta, Queen of the Amazons, is one of the ones that's available. Damage to an enemy, 15% chance to lower cooldown on all superpowers by 1. Cooldown +3 on draw swords. Okay, so we have a buffer and a call assist team leader, but I don't know when we would have gotten her. So the fact that she is listed as being available, but we don't have a way of getting her, at least as far as I know of, then what's the fucking point? It's like, oh hey, you can let Abraham Lincoln into your card game tonight. that's great. He's dead. That's fantastic. Huh, that's gonna take a while. I forgot I played that really late last night. So, this is why this hero challenge is definitely the shittiest yet. I mean, there's some comments of make it hard, but don't have a lot of restrictions, or make it easy and be restricted. You can't make it hard and be hyper restrictive. The amount of nodes, the super high energy, the lack of power-ups coming from this, or the lack of power rings. I mean, I don't even think it's that greedy of the devs on this. I don't think they're like, oh, we're going to make people kind of get frustrated and pay their way through it. You can't. I mean, if I speed force this and I get my 1, that's it. It's locked out. And I don't even get a chance to get another shot at it. I can't even pay crystals to take another shot. So I'm just going to do this, because it's only going to waste 8. But see, that's it. It's not even like I can pay crystals and recharge it for a chance at an extra bio for Captain Cold. You're just fucked. I mean, you're not even fucked with paying your way out of it. You're literally, like, fucked into the corner, and you just have to sit there and twiddle your thumbs as you wait for a day, and then your teams just don't go anywhere because they're so restricted and they're not powered up. I mean, it's... there's people with gears of 8, 9, and 10 not being able to pass this. And everybody is like, the Poison Ivy event was so very good, and so good to even the the free-to-play player, that this one is just such a ridiculous disappointment. This isn't even a red-headed stepchild. This is like looking at the ugliest dog of the year. The award winner for ugliest dog of the year. Just seeing like snaggle teeth and like one eye is hanging out. I mean, so yeah, I got 2 or 3 of these packs of broccoli yesterday because I really wanted to cap them. But I'm not looking at reverse flash, and I'm not looking at regular flash. Broccoli meant something to me, and that's why I did it. And I'm paying for, you know, big usefulness and everything, which is why I did it. And that's why I don't really consider myself a whale on this. I don't drop money every single chance that I can to get it. I just drop it where I feel it's reasonable. And, you know, if there's a hero that I think is really good or has synergy or, you know, good effects like Siren, if I knew, if I somehow had gained knowledge of how good she is, but didn't have her where she is right now, and suddenly, like, she came up and it's like, okay, pay 8K and get a legendary Siren, like, I would be all over that in a heartbeat. Because Siren has become one of my absolute favorite people in this game. And Broccoli has too, and believe it or not, my Cyborg. I almost sound very, in a way, Archie Bunker-ish. But I really, really like the people that I really, really like and kind of want to stick with them. And I'm pushing my Zatanna right now. I want to get her to Legendary because I think her usefulness is amazing. And the only reason why I'm going for this Batman is because he's just so close. So I tend to aim for somebody who really means something to me, and then I also tend to aim for somebody who is about ready to ding in star level. So that's why I've been going for Zatanna out of usefulness and Batman out of closeness. But this Captain Cold event, I really, really hope the devs learn from this event and realize what the community is saying. And I hope they keep their ear to the tracks and listen to this train coming, because there are some very, very mad people. And in one of the groups that I'm in, I was linked to a Reddit thread that has become an amalgamation of several other Reddit threads, because that's how much hate there is for this event right now, is that there has been 2, 3, 4, 10 threads of everybody complaining about this, and a giant catch-all thread has had to be put together to try to encompass all of the hate. So I'm going to take out my primary PvP team here to wrap up the video. So sometimes I use this team with Cyborg in the lead, but Cyborg's leadership says that when somebody is buffed, all allies have a 30% chance to gain 7% turn meter if buffed. This team doesn't have the most amount of buffs in the world. I mean, there are some mends when Broccoli gets going, and sometimes she gets the evasion when people bleed. But I kind of think the team is better off with Broccoli leading, because then random allies gain 3% shield and 8% turn meter at the start of every ally turn. So I think the shielding is better. Now, I wanted to show you guys what I legendaried on my legendary. So for her, I think I legendaried the toxin transfer. Oh, cross-pollinate. That's right. Apply stamina up to an ally and random ally. Copy up to 3 random buffs from an ally to the rest of the team. Copy up to 3 random buffs twice. I think there's some amazing synergy over here, and I could probably build a very, very good team around that craziness. I like what Poison Ivy does for the game, brain power-wise. I think she creates a ridiculous chess match. So for Broccoli, I went ahead and upgraded his Seed Construct for a little bit more shielding. To be honest, and I've read this about him, anything you legendary on Broccoli is good. I mean, 6 agility ups here, and I do use him to shield and taunt, so that would have been good. Hypnotic Light I use a little bit less, mostly because Seed Construct is so useful with the Mend, and I really don't run him with that many enraging people. If I did, like, Sinestro and everything, I might have done this. Will to Live, this was another good one to think about legendary. Another round of immunity and agility ups on people. I mean, so much of what he has is amazing, and you can make a valid case to legendary just about anything on him. So I'm going to go with Broccoli in the lead, just because I think the shielding just means a little bit more than the buffs. I mean, I don't dislike Cyborg's leadership. I think it's phenomenal. And that's another one where I think you could build a team around it, especially with Poison Ivy duplicating buffs. But I just think the shielding means a little bit more. So, typical start over here. I'm actually going to aim for Zatanna first, because that's who I always like to take out first when she's around. I usually dump the bleed on her. Honestly, my Broccoli went before my Siren. That's the first time that's happened. Usually Broccoli is after Siren. And that's sometimes, if you're wondering why I didn't taunt in the first round, that's because Zatanna usually opens up with the buff remover. She'll probably bleed out at this point, especially after this. So, I kind of find it to be a little bit of a waste. Mostly because it just simply gets removed anyway. You want to talk about removal? My Cyborg, if Batman wasn't invisible, my Cyborg usually removes Batman with that move over there. I have deleted Batmans for like 6K before. We'll let Hal live a little bit longer because he's got the shield up and Batman's bleeding, and now he's really going to be bleeding. God, wow, that is a lot of damage. And that, he did a lot of damage to me, too. Oddly enough, I did not get stunned. I guess he wasn't shielded at the time. I was going to say Hal did not manage to stun anybody before when he dropped the hammer, but he probably wasn't shielded yet. You know, how would you guys feel if shields were ever counted as a buff? So that you could purge a shield off, or shielding counts as a buff like for Cyborg's leadership, where like if somebody shielded themselves, it counted as a buff. That could be interesting. I think it would change the dynamic of shielding quite a bit. If it was considered a buff and removable, maybe people wouldn't run shields nearly as much. So we will do one last PvP over here. No, it's... I hate the lag when it comes out of this sometimes. Oh, I've actually taken 3... I lost to this? I think I'm going to revenge that. Every now and then I'll lose to one on defense that when I go and revenge, it's surprisingly obvious why I lost. This one, not really too sure why I would have lost. Oh dear. She opened up with the bleeds. What to do? Well, Zatanna's usually priority target. Again, holding the taunt. Oh, wow. She did not go for broccoli. She almost always goes for broccoli. And that's kind of why I was holding the heal there. I think her next action will be to heal. Hopefully I'll get one more attack in before she goes. I was hoping the bleeds would win out. Damn, more bleeds on my broccoli. I would like Siren to go so that I can AoE now. Damn, picking on him, so time for immunity. Which of course is this one. I was clicking on the wrong one. I really would like for my heal to come up before the immunity goes away. Sometimes, though, I've discovered that you just have to sacrifice broccoli for the greater good. Oh, yeah, the heal's up. Nice. Damn. Enemy Siren being ruthless. Well, we'll see if we could get him mend out, just in case he winds up dying. Your sacrifice shall not be in vain, loyal Patsy Broccoli. Sometimes I feel just a little bad when my Zatanna doesn't have anybody to purge a debuff from. When I go a whole match with a... Oh, there it is. Love that proc. That's just such a fun proc when it happens. So yeah. Go fuck yourself, buddy, who killed my defense. I wonder if it was just... Maybe it was because, like, my Captain Cold team was up on defense or something. Let's see what else I lost to over here. And then we'll wrap up the video. Alright, that seems like it should be a legit loss. Another borderline one. Not a legendary siren. Kind of high Ivy. Their power ranks are fairly good. She outranks all my people, but the rest of them don't. Borderline. That should have been a good match. And here's one of those user ones. So everybody says the ones who are user blood. Whoa. Really? I don't think this was there when I looked at it last night. That's... Yep. That could have definitely been one of those cheaters that we like to talk about with the user in the username. This one doesn't seem too far-fetched. His Batman's a little weak. Well, guys, there's my video on the Captain Cold event. It's not a... Oh, I shouldn't have collected that. I should have done this first. It's not a fun one for people. There's a lot of hate for this event right now. People are quite displeased with it. And I certainly can understand why. It's just not the most fair of events over here. The energy usage is ridiculous. And the sad thing is we smelled that trend coming. Some of the last ones have had incredibly high energy usage. And I mean, there's, unlike MAA where you could just bank so many energy recharges over the years and months and everything, and you could do, say, a full Spec Ops mission and recharge your way back up to doing a chapter mission and everything. You didn't have dailies in that game, and fulfilling a daily in this game is really important. So running out of energy due to an event and then not really being able to generate your dailies is sad. And yes, you could be stealing our money that way by making people go through the event and then pay to recharge to do their dailies, but the event just, I don't know. It's really irritating people, and I was kind of pissed off at it. Just mostly for the fact of who I can bring and how underpowered they are. And repeat days only give one bio from nodes you've cleared. Not cool, devs. Really, really not cool. So, let me know what you think about the, let me know what you think about the situation down below. And if you have another event that you liked better, kind of the way everybody likes the Poison Ivy one, let me know what you think about that too. Let's get a conversation going on down in the comments. Take care, everybody. See ya.